Hi everyone, welcome to week 9 of our semester together. I'm really proud of the progress that people in our class are making. I mean, the retention rate in our class is astonishing to me. I think we had, after the initial purge, like a financial aid type of purge early in the semester, I think we had 41 people, and I think only 3 people have disappeared out of that, and that is just really impressive. So I'm really proud of you. I know that you guys have very busy and complex lives and multiple responsibilities, so I really appreciate the time and effort you put into our class. Now everyone should have received their essays back from me, and you'll notice that one thing you should do is save that document that has my comments on your essay with all the comments in the margins. You should save that on your computer. I even recommend emailing yourself a copy of it, because you want to use those comments, the comments in the margins, as well as the general comments that I make. You want to use that as a springboard for your next essay. So you don't want to see whether for whatever class it is, but especially for our class, you don't want to see that as the end, getting the grade. It often feels like the end and now on to something else. But you want to take that feedback and apply it to your next writing assignments. That's why I spend a lot of time reading and responding to your papers, is because for me to correct them or just to point out things that are incorrect, that's very easy for me. I could do it really quickly. But that ultimately I don't think really benefits you. I try to give you the kind of feedback that you can use in your next papers. So go through those essays of yours. See what I say you really need to work on. Try to find and fix the mistakes you've made. I'm not going to change your grade, but if you want to shoot me an email and say, look, I tried to fix this comma splice, am I on the right track? More than happy to help you. And that's really the way you're going to improve. So I really, really want to emphasize that. Now we're moving into the writing about poetry. And what I want you to do this week is start off by printing out. Don't even read. Just print out John Donne's The Flea. Here's the link. You know the rules about how to print it in the cleanest way possible. And then I have a video for you called Literary Context, Metaphysical Poets, and John Donne. The video itself is about 15 minutes, but in order to take notes, I think you probably should leave yourself about 30 minutes. And when you're watching it, you should make sure you have out your printed copy of Donne's The Flea, because I'm going to walk you through some elements of it. And literary context, we've been talking about characterization, we've been talking about plot, we've been talking about theme. Those are all important frameworks that you can, point of view, frameworks that you can use when you're approaching the study of literature, even when you're watching TV or movies, anything like that. But context is also very useful to know about. So knowing about where the writer is coming from, the context within which he or she is working, can really help you open up your eyes to certain key issues. Now, in previous classes, I think I've emphasized just letting yourself experience the poems, like without knowing anything really much about them. Well, now you're going to get into some context of the metaphysical poets and John Donne before you even look at his poem. Then on Tuesday, I want you to check out the topics for essay number 2. One thing I want to point out, there are a couple of options, but there's also an option where if there's a question, a significant question, or that has come up for you while reading the poetry that you think is worthy of exploring in a 3-page essay, just email me and tell me it, and I'll tell you whether or not I approve it, because I really want you to be writing about things that you're finding interesting. And I can only guess. I try to come up with topics that are of interest to you, but maybe you have something better, and I'm more than happy to let you pursue that. But I do have to give you approval. Then I want you to read John Donne's The Flea. And from Wednesday through Friday, or really you have until Sunday before your next discussion post is due, I really want you to spend at least 3 hours working on your discussion post. And you can break it up, however you want to. But what I'd also really like to see happen is for you guys to start having more of an informal conversation with each other and, to talk to each other, as I say here, in a really casual, low stakes kind of way, about what you're thinking about in terms of the poetry. You can ask each other questions about it, like, what did you think of this line? Or, I didn't understand this line. I think it means this. What do you think? One sentence observations, whatever. I mean, just far less formal than your discussion posts. And you can carry on this part of the discussion with each other in this part. I'm just going to go in here because I moved it, so I want you to see. I moved up the open discussion to the top of our page. So this is where you would just come in and just put in your observations, respond to people, whatever, as you're doing it. It could be off the cuff. And then your official discussion post will be, in its usual place. So you have until Sunday, October 23rd for that. So we're just getting started in getting some ideas generated and some words on the page for your next essay. And your next essay is going to be due Friday, November 4th. And then we'll just get into the last part of our semester together. So that's it. Have a great week. I am coming to Charleston on Thursday for the Empowering Women Conference. So if you're registered, just come up to me at the conference because I will really want to meet you guys. And if not, you can't make it, that's totally cool. Or if you're a guy, you can't come, sorry. So that's it. Bye.